Throwaway time. What is your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? 2.5 years ago I was in dire financial straits, so I sold my home to keep my struggling business afloat. I neglected to tell the owners that they have an 800-square-foot bunker on the property that I built about 7 years ago. The bunker that I have called home since I sold it. The entrance to it is well hidden, but I still come and go very early, very late in the day. I am a single man who keeps to himself. I am now in a situation where I could move somewhere else, but I love this hidden paradise so much. Background: I am a guy in my late 20s who was taken into care aged 7. Everyone around me already knows that I was brought up by foster families because I had a shit early childhood. I deliberately keep it vague and say stuff like I did rather not go into it so that people will just assume I was abused in some way and they will stop asking about it. The truth is that for the first 7 years of my life I was brought up as a girl by my Chico birth mother, who really wanted a daughter and did not let the snag of giving birth to a boy stop her from trying to raise one. She was a pretty successful professional in a legal field, not entirely sure what, and had me via anonymous sperm donor from a fertility clinic. She found out I was a boy at a late ultrasound and then moved across the country, gave birth to me at home and continued to move about until I was 5 or so. It was just the two of us all my life. We had contact with other people, of course, but they rarely got very close. I had lots of friends, but was always supervised. I found out way after that my mother's strong puritanical Christianity was a lie she used to explain why she was so strict about me being private and never letting anyone see me get changed or anything. I just accepted all of this as fact, having never been told anything different. I was sent to a religious school for girls and had a really great childhood. I was a bit of a tomboy, and played with Lego and toy animals, rather than dolls and stuff. But that is not unusual, and no one ever questioned I was a girl. Even me knew about men and women, but had never really seen much of naked people. My mother never ever spoke to me about it, but I kinda had the impression that when I grew up and got boobs and stuff, my dick would kinda fall off or something and I would be a woman, and other kids would keep their dicks and they did be men. I dunno, to be honest, I never really thought about it. Anyway, I carried on with my happy girlhood, and had a bunch of friends and everything was great until I was 7 and a teacher accidentally spilled a cup of hot coffee over me at school. The liquid soaked through my clothes and was scalding me, so the staff immediately stripped me out of my dress and underwear to get the hot coffee away from my skin. And then they found out. The cops were called and I got taken to speak with who I guess would be social services. They asked me a bunch of questions about life at home and stuff. Meanwhile, my mother was taken in for questioning too. She refused to acknowledge me as male and insisted I was her daughter, because she was, why no, delusional and stuff. I was not allowed to go back home but got put with a foster family and went through loads of therapy and stuff. The worst part was that literally overnight, I lost everything. My mother, my home, all my toys, all my clothes. I moved school, so lost all my friends. They cut all my hair off and told me I was not a girl anymore. It was really traumatic. The first foster home was not that great. They had 3 boys already, and going from a sheltered religious-only child upbringing to a rough-and-tumble testosterone-filled environment was really difficult. They tried to force me to be masculine and I was just too confused about what they wanted. Anything girly was reprimanded and I felt so lost and alone because nothing I did was right. I tried to commit suicide when I was 11 and again at 13 because I did not feel I fitted in anywhere. After the second attempt, they moved me to a different foster family who were awesome. I consider them to be my parents. They actually stood up for me. The first thing was that they let me grow my hair. From when I got taken into care, they buzzed my hair short, and I hated it. They always had to hold me down and do it forcibly while I was crying and fighting. My new parents flatly refused to do it and said that loads of boys had long hair. They also let me quit karate and football and take up swimming and jazz dance. Since I did been in care, no one had ever stood up for my right to choose what activities to do or how to dress before. It was amazing. In the end, I came out of it with a pretty healthy gender identity. I am a guy, but not the most butch guy ever, but I am fine with that. I went through school and got my degree and have a pretty good job and an amazing, supportive wife, Every time looks great, but I can never speak about my early childhood, and how I grew up as a little girl. TL wrote, I am a guy and let people believe I was raised in care because I was abused when in fact I had a great childhood, except that my mother tried to raise me as a girl. Edit. Holy crap, I never expected such a response. Have finally remembered the password I used for this account and am answering any questions I find. Thank you, Reddit. I run a cake business. I charge people hundreds for wedding cakes. Every last one is made using Pillsbury cake mix I buy for $1 a box at Walmart. I suck at baking. Every time I have ever tried to make a cake from scratch it sucked. But baking is like my whole deal. My friends all call me the cake girl. It is like my whole life is a lie. People compliment my cakes all the time, telling me how delicious they are, telling me it is so much better than box mixed cake, telling me they could never bake a cake so delicious. Well, guess what? For one, they too can make a cake just as delicious. Just add oil, eggs and water. In my defense, I love cake decorating. I make all of the frostings and fondant from scratch. I just hate baking ducking cakes. I base my prices mostly on the decoration of the cakes and not of the cake itself. Oh, that makes sense. Still, no one knows about this except my husband. Even my best friends think I ducking slave over the oven mixing and baking these damn cakes. I have been doing this for years. If anyone knew, my business and reputation would be in the toilet for sure. I keep telling myself I have to learn how to make the damn cakes without the box mixes, but I never do it. I feel like such a sham sometimes. Edit. Holy shit, I did not expect such a response to this. I feel better about it thanks to a lot of these comments. Funny, I started this account as a novelty account and got bored of googling random cakes to post as comments. LOL, seemed perfect for this confession. Edit. 2 months later I receive messages almost daily on this account. I am so glad I used a throwaway. I forget to check this account most of the time and rarely see this stuff until weeks later. That said, to answer the main questions, yes, I know I can order cake mix online, but I do not make enough cakes for it to be economical. It is actually more expensive to order online. Honestly, I am not incredibly worried about people seeing me anymore. If I ran into someone I would tell them that I was helping my niece with a bake sale or something. I have, since this thread, made some cakes from scratch. I am still using box mixes for chocolate and vanilla, and red velvet because duck all of that. Let us see what else. Oh right, I have received probably 100 comments saying the cake is a lie. We get it, it is very clever, but no, I am sorry, you are not the first, second, third or 20th to say it. Overall, I have learned this is actually pretty normal, and that people from all over the world have a friend who makes cakes and they all think I am their friend. So far no one has pinned me, but you guys had better check your friend's cabinets for Pillsbury mix. Edit. Wednesday, June 17, 2015. Alright kiddos, here I am. A friend texted me and said my people need me laughing. I guess there was a thread that got big and mentioned this thread. Here is your update. I actually no longer make cakes. I got a divorce and moved into a much smaller home. At that point I had no place to decorate cakes. I was also really burnt out. It is an incredibly hard art, very time-consuming and requires a lot of tools and space. About a year later, I moved in with my now boyfriend. We have a pretty big kitchen. I wanted to sell my equipment and tools and the billion giant cake pans I have, but he convinced me not to. He said I should keep it on the back burner for a while and see if I want to do it again later. He did not know me when I was a decorator, but he saw the photos and told me it would be a shame if I never did it again. I want to share some photos, but it would so easy to trace them back to my old cake blog. Maybe I can find 1 or 2 photos that were never posted there. Edit. January 2018. Once in a while these Reddit lore posts pop up and someone mentions my confession and I think to check this account. I am incredibly tickled to be a part of Reddit lore. I have a sort of hilarious update at this point. About a year and a half ago I was diagnosed with a wheat intolerance. My intestines decided they no longer wanted to digest wheat anymore. Woo-oo. I actually just thought I was dying for a few months. It was really stressful. Anyway, I can't even duck and eat cake anymore. I still have all of my equipment and whatnot. I make a quick cake now and then, but trust me when I say gluten-free cake mixes are better than anything I could make from scratch. LOL. Here's a cute little cake I made for my birthday last year. Link it's not amazing, but it's not bad considering I rarely make cakes anymore. I still receive so many messages on this account. I am sorry if I don't reply, but I never check this account. I've got everything in that inbox, from people trying to guess who I am, to people giving me recipes, to people begging me for cake photos, and one guy who wanted a video of me eating cake. Yikes. Anyhow, I am getting married again. Woot, the second time is a charm. To a dude I met on Reddit, and our wedding planner asked me to please not try to make my own wedding cake because she has seen it end in stressful disaster so many times. I am going to take her advice and leave the cake making to someone else. I do know Reddit, and I know some of you will call bullshit on this update, but that's fine. LOL. I literally have no reason to lie, and with all this personal information someone will probably finally realize who I am for sure. Laughing. Update February 23, 2019. The never-ending editing. LOL. I hadn't logged into this account for over a year, but I saw someone mention me in a thread, so I logged in real quick. A zillion messages in the all inbox. Sorry, I don't really have advice on how to start a cake decorating business. I just did my best and was mostly given business by word of mouth. Lots of people messaging to tell me I ripped people off. I mean, not really. People duckin' loved the cakes, and when it's all said and done, a box of cake mix plus all the stuff it takes to make it into a cake probably cost around the same amount as the raw ingredients. And people loved the cakes, so that's whatever. Lots of people asking if I would be mad to find out that my wedding cake was made with box mix. No, LOL. Also, I was not charging anyone bakery prices. Anyone giving me a few $100s was paying me to make a massive cake that took me days to assemble and decorate. Also, my wedding was fantastically fabulous. We got a gluten-free cake from Milk Bar, and I paid another bakery $400 to make us a beautifully decorated two-tier cake for the guests to eat. Everything was amazing. Oh, and here's some fuel to fire all of ohgoshwheretobegin. LOL. I found this at the grocery store the other day. I am over here about to ice up some gluten-free box mix cupcakes. Link. Please don't give this account gold. I log into it like once a year. Save your money. Donate it to a charity or something instead. October 2019 edit. I can't believe I can still add edits to this. Weird. Anyway, things are great. I haven't been baking much dessert, but I've been working on some gluten-free French bread, and it's going okay. Some people have messaged asking my marriage. My husband is awesome. He's really the best, and it feels awesome to be with a partner who treats me as an equal. I have a lot of weird messages in my inbox, some of why all need therapy. I almost did an interview for a podcast on Reddit lore, but I chickened out. Sorry. LOL. I am just not great at doing interview kinda stuff and was afraid I'd be super weird about it. April 2020 edit. Oh my god, I can't believe it's still letting me make edits to this. Jesus Christ. Quarantine is wild. All I do right now is watch 90 Day Fiank and so many masks. I guess this is my new thing. It has been really funny to see my post mentioned around Reddit once in a while, especially when people add or change details like some kind of weird game of telephone. It honestly cracks me up. Keep being weird. Reddit. January 2021. Seriously, can't believe it still lets me edit this comment. LOL. Evidently I haven't logged into this account since last April. Still getting a steady stream of messages. Why all are great. I just celebrated my birthday with a gluten-free cake from Milk Bar. Amazing. I didn't really bake much during the pandemic so far, but I did learn how to sew, and I've sewn over 3,000 masks in the last year, which I sold and donated to people all over the US. I also had COVID for Christmas. It sucked, but I've fully recovered now, and I am hoping we can get this shit under control this year. I miss doing things and going places. Okay, so this is a secret I have kept for nearly 20 years. During the summers when I was growing up, my parents would often leave my brother and I am male with our aunt and uncle who lived out in the country. It was great as they had 4 sons of ages close to ours, so we had a lot of fun doing kids stuff. One summer when I was 8, the oldest cousin was maybe 16, we somehow got talking and he asked me if I wanted to sleep in his room that night. He has the nicest room and bed, so I was all for it. Got into bed and he asked if he could touch my penis. I was 8 and just thought it was okay, so I let him. He rubs it for a bit and then asks me to do the same to him, so I do. This progresses and eventually I am sucking his cock. I think I knew this was wrong, so I said I did not want to carry on. We stop and I go to sleep quite confused. I wake up and he hands me some money and tells me never to tell anyone about what happened. Next night he tries to do the same thing, but now all I care about is the money, so I do it. This carried on for 2 summers. Eventually I got old enough to realize it was quite wrong regardless of the money and stopped. I have not told anyone this. He is now married with 2 kids. I am also married and we see them sometimes at family events. I do not have the balls to even try and talk to him about it. Hell, I am not even sure what I did say. I am sure this will get buried, but just getting it off my chest makes me feel better. TLDR, I was a gay child hooker when I was 13. During the summer before I started high school, I was molested by a guy who dragged me into an alley, backed me into a corner so I could not escape, and even if I did tried to, I could not have because he was taller and stronger than I was, and pulled my pants down. I tried to draw attention to where I was because I did gone over to a guy's house with my friend because she liked him, and when we went he just happened to have a friend there to hang out with me while they went off and did whatever. Anyway, I tried to shout and make as much noise as I could, and the guy goes, "This would be easier if you were laying down," and tried to force me to the ground. Then my friend finally shows up and goes, "Oh my god, my name, what are you doing?" And the guy obviously does not go, "Oh yeah, no, I was trying to rape her, this was my idea," but instead goes, "She was trying to have sex with me, ha 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 ha," and just walks away. Then my friend does not believe me when I tell her he dragged me into the alley because she had disappeared well before anyone could see him pulling on my arm with both hands and me trying to resist it as much as I could. I never told anyone because I did not want them to react the same way my friend did. I think about it a lot, and every day I say maybe this will be the day I finally tell my parents what happened, and then I never do. That was almost 6 years ago. My friend and I no longer speak, but I did stop being friends with her maybe 5 or 6 months after that because she told a couple of our other friends that I tried to have sex with the guy I did known for all of 5 minutes during the summer. I faked the last 2 years of college education. My parents put so much pressure on me I could not handle it. I was suffering from severe depression and anxiety, so I faked it all. Lied to everyone. Made up fake transcripts. I just got my foot in the door in my desired field thanks to a friend, as they hired me as a subordinate. This place only hires college grads, but no one double-checked my credentials since I was recommended. My hopes is that if I need to find another job I will have been at this place long enough to get it by experience alone. I work for a very prestigious company. I am not bad at my job, I am actually quite good, but my fear is eventually I will hit a wall and the lie will come to light. No one has known this for the better part of a decade. It is a relief to finally say it out loud. I cannot even tell those I love. My silence is my prison. I used to be a police fire 911 dispatcher, but had to quit because it nearly made me suicidal. I actually had thoughts, but had to drive 40 miles to go to a center hospital where no one knew me for help. I have nightmares about a few calls I took where the caller killed themselves, shot someone else, or passed away on the phone with me. To this day, a few years after resigning, I still cannot listen to a phone ring or sirens go off without having a mild panic attack. I am fairly sure it is a form of PTSD, with flashbacks, nightmares, panic attacks, and an inability to function sometimes. But I am embarrassed and scared to tell my fiancé, or go to a doctor for it. I know there are soldiers out there with real PTSD that deserve help far more than me. I am very good at hiding it though. I also sometimes wait until my fiancé goes to sleep, and I will then go sit and pretty much cry for several hours. It is hell. Too long. Didn't he read I exhibit a lot of the symptoms of PTSD, but I am scared to get help for it because I do not think I deserve to be diagnosed with something like this, as in my mind, I was never in any real danger. Edit 1 year later. For those of you who still message me about this, No, I did not seek help for my problem. Soon after I made this post, my fiancé left me, citing the fact that I made her miserable. That was a huge blow, because it meant that I was effectively homeless. Since I was not able to afford rent in our shared home, I was then forced to quit my job, move several thousand miles away, and live in a cot in my grandmother's house. I found that I was massively depressed, homeless, jobless, overweight, and severely suicidal. My ex-girlfriend refused to help, and I was utterly, sincerely, totally alone. But I fought. I could not afford treatment, so I went ahead and began exercising my body and exorcising my demons. I fought, long and hard, to eat right, to not have the urge to end my own life, and to be someone. I ended up losing nearly 120 pounds, getting into the best shape of my life, and kicking my depression in the ass. Today, 1 year later, I am normal weight. I have a gorgeous new girlfriend, and I recognize that I needed help. So, future reader, let this be a lesson to you. The things you try to hide, the things that can and will destroy you if they get out, will destroy you eventually. Face your demons. Fight, fight, fight. Edit 29/1913. Yes, I still check this account. Thank you to whomever gifted me Reddit Gold. I appreciate it sincerely. Second, and most important of all, the reason I check this account is because it is still generating amazing comments to my inbox. I really do love all of them, and I am happy to have helped. I am fighting to get to a better place in my career, and I am living a very healthy and happy life now. I am working harder and more focused than I have ever been, and I am currently down 130 pounds. I ran my first 5K a few months back, and my nightmares and panic attacks have gone away totally. Again, never take the easy way out, folks, because there just is not one. I will leave you with my favorite quote: do not by any means destroy yourself, for if you live you may yet have good fortune, but all the dead are dead alike. C.S. Lewis. Thank you all. Edit 3/6/12/14. We are engaged. For those of you asking how I am, or giving me encouragement via the PMs, a sincere thank you. There are days where I log into this account, seen or injured, and use the wishes inside as my secret fuel to get through a tough day. I am down 150 pounds total now, and I jog, bike, hike, and find whatever activity I can to keep myself occupied. I have got a wonderful job in a field that I love, doing all kinds of interesting research, and I am now the guy in the office that brings in the donuts on Fridays. It is a funny turnaround. Sometimes, my old life seems like it was a bizarre and hazy bad dream, to use the washed-up phrase, but I cannot ever forget that it was real, because there are so many lessons that my time in that dark place taught me, and so many lessons I feel like I want to share with others. Finally, there are some things that I never shared with you folks about my story, such as when I mentioned initially that I was living with my grandmother. As tough as it was, 2 months after I moved in, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I helped with her care until the very end. I know I had my problems, but when the dying person that loves you with all of their heart tells you that no matter what, they are proud of you, you cannot help but smile and carry on through anything. She passed away a year ago today, hence this post. It is kind of a thank you to her too. My fiancé tells me that I should write a book about this whole thing, so that is what I have started to do. Might as well put that English degree to use, right? I hope someday you will all get the chance to read it, because so many of you helped to inspire it. Again, thank you all, from the bottom of this heart of mine. Thank you all. Edit 4/5/7/16. We just bought a house. I honestly cannot believe it. I sat down in the bare living room last night, no furniture yet, and I looked down at my wedding ring, looked around at the house, and broke down into tears. No one in the world, save for you kind folks, and my wife, know how close I was to ending my life, how much I thought that I was nothing. All this work was worth it. It is always worth it. I just wanted to say hi again to everyone. I have been getting quite a few PMs lately, and they are still the most beautiful thing to me. There are so many people all over the world that have similar stories and have come through it all better than before. I guess that is the point of this whole post. Life is what you make of it, and no matter what situation you find yourself in, or what setbacks you face, the only real constant to the whole messy thing is that you have not failed until you decide that you have failed. If you get knocked around, and you find yourself face down, miserable, lonely, and with nothing left, it does not have to be the end. It is a weird and funny concept to many people who feel like it cannot ever get any better. Trust me, I know what it feels like, but you are truly in control of your own destiny. If you keep hitting dead ends and dark paths, do not give up, never give up. So, my wonderful friends from all around the globe, I love you. Thank you joining me on this journey once more. And remember that the journey is not always easy, but if you want it to be meaningful, that journey is always worth it. Stay tuned. Edit 5/12/24/2017. Merry Christmas. I wanted to stop by and tell you all that we are still doing great, 5 years later. And it looks like the changes I made an effort to create in my life are permanent. Those changes are not holding fast because of me. It's because of the support system I set up around me, myself, my habits, my hobbies, etc. All keep me occupied and mindful. Yes, I still have bad days, and yes, I still have days where I need to make a conscious effort to be positive, but it's always so worth it. I really just wanted to come in and tell every last one of you that 5 years ago I was alone on Christmas Eve, crying on a ratty couch, watching A Christmas Story alone, wondering what life is all about. Today, I am sitting here with my wife, a pair of dogs, a fire, in our house, contemplating how close I was to the end, and how I can help folks in the same spot right now. You, if you're rereading this, you really do fit in somewhere. I know you do. Out there, in this great wide universe, is someone or something that needs you right now. It might be hard to see it, and you may think it's impossible to ever find it, but you just need to try. Try for yourself, your family, or for that someone that could use you and what you bring to the world right now. I know that even at your lowest point, you can still be a beacon to other people. I know, because some of you, even at your lowest points, have dropped me quick messages to just say thanks, and they always make me smile. They always help. There are some really, really amazing people in this world. Merry Christmas, all. P.S. Yes, I am still writing that book. Edit 6/12/2019. Merry Christmas to the return. A big, warm hello to everyone who is reading this. I just wanted to stop in and let you know that things are still going great with my wife and I. I get messages from many of you on a pretty regular basis, and it's probably the highlight of my week to go back and read them. Some of the messages are beautiful words of encouragement, some are people telling me their own story, and some are asking me for updates. The one thing that strikes me about all of the voices that reach out to me is that they are all positive and all a part of the same human experience. When it's all stripped away, right down to the bare black and white letters of a Reddit message, we all have the same fears and hopes. We all seek that motivation to be a better person. I can truly say that life since my turnaround above has been easy, but it's so nice to know that others are in this big goofy thing called life with me. You're not alone. But, on to the real reason I am here. Don't give up. That's the only message I can spread to you. Don't ever give up. You never know when the next opportunity or amazing adventure will appear around the corner, or what wonderful experience will coax you out into the world. Merry Christmas, everyone. We love you all. And again, you're not alone. P.S. That book is kinda finished. Anyone know a good publisher? LOL. Merry Christmas Reddit. Thank you, again, for helping to save my life. I mean it. You're all a part of it. I love you for it. I've finally had to edit out some prior edits to comply with the 10,000 character limit. IT guy here. It is amazing what people will do on their computers and say in their emails despite having to sign a waiver that all computer activity at work is monitored and recorded. I have half the company's banking, social media and personal email account info and passwords. I know who is secretly banging who at the office behind their spouse's backs. I know who is cybering at work and jerking it in the bathroom almost daily. At least they tell their sex chat partner they are running off to the bathroom to jerk it. Have not felt the need to check the validity of that one. I know when people are having marital problems, financial problems. I even know one person here had their children taken away because a social worker found cocaine in their house. I know who is embezzling money. I know when people get fired for completely bullshit reasons, like they just want to replace them with someone younger and nicer on the ice. And I know who my boss is buying Xanax and Vicodins from. Basically, I have a treasure trove of my co-worker's secrets. I would not actively do anything with this info, but it is nice knowing I have the ammunition there if something were to ever happen. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.